Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Sunday, the 31st of May 2026, the year of Green Wicks and BSV Terranode in the mix. Branch of threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Alright, let's see what we've got today. So some posts to get through on my feed. Another conspiracy theory comes true. The climate hoax. They've just admitted it, as they did I think it was last year sometime as well, but now they're putting out a national press. But there's still going to be some people who believe it because, you know, the hoax got so big. But they're literally just admitting it. They had no idea what they were talking about. This looks ace. Look at this. I'm assuming this might be, the poster for the movie Bitcoin. I don't know if it's made up, but looks like maybe it's written in French. But that looks ace. Yeah, bit to catch up on there. I've just written this article here by Votriamp, which I want to go through just to see what it reads like. You know, trying different ways to explain, the Bitcoin network to people and apps like that. Great stuff. I've just found this article here by E. Egden saying here XRP loses $900 million as DTCC collateral FUD triggers panic sell-off. So, yeah, don't quite know what that's all about, but we'll read the article. Then we'll have a look at the figures, see what's up with what is going down. We'll have a look at XRP then. Don't really know if there was a $900 million sell-off. Doesn't really seem to have affected the price all that much. We'll just check strategies charts here as to why Michael Saylor might be sweating a little bit. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Craig says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, and transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
Alright, here we go. So Andrew Bridgen has posted here. He said, look at this. This is a major signal. The United Nations has scrapped its worst case climate scenario. And this is just after, what's his name? Tony Blair said that Ed Miliband should scrap all his green agenda targets, probably because they want to plow all their energy into data centers and world surveillance, I guess. But they continue, the climate hoax is officially dead. Our children are still being indoctrinated with this damaging nonsense in schools. It's a form of child abuse. Please watch and share. All right, let's finally have a listen to this. Here we go.
Now the United Nations has withdrawn their worst case conclusion on climate. Now they had been thinking that temperatures would go up by 8 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of this century and that the polar ice caps would melt completely. Daniel Turner is with us this morning. I thought that UN declaration to abandon that forecast, I thought that was a very big deal for climate science.
It really was, but I think there needs to be a reckoning because this wasn't just a mistake in climate calculations or in science. There are whole countries that destroyed their economies. The UK shut down the North Sea oil and gas, right? We have entire nations that have crippled themselves and made themselves energy poor because of climate change. And not only that, generationally, how many young children have grown up with real climate anxiety that are convinced they're going to die? These scientists, for political reasons, did great damage to the world. And it's not enough for them to say, oops, we made a mistake. There needs to be a reckoning for this.
What would be a reckoning? What would it be?
They lose all of their funding. They are discredited. They have to offer formal statements. They should be forced to go around to schools and tell young people, you don't have to be worried about climate change.
That's not going to happen.
Of course not. But it's not enough to just say, hey, we made a mistake. And they did this for political calculations, and that's what's wrong.
Political calculations. I think you'll find there are political reasons as to why they did it. How much money have they scammed out of governments, for this green energy initiative? Wind turbines that are powered by diesel, destroying fields with solar panels and all this crap. We know exactly why they've done it, and we know who they are as well. Should we say shocking? Not shocked, Check this out though. Mint. So yeah, it says Adele director de la Born Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith I didn't realise Doug Lynham did that as well. We've got Gal Gadot, Isla Fisher, Casey Affleck, Pete Davidson. What's this? A Hero or Enigma? Well, I mean, that looks like a mint poster. Look at this. Spy thriller almost. Loving this. Very much looking forward to this coming out. But what I think I think Gavin might have posted something on it on the distribution rights. I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't get released at all, because if you were a big Warner Brothers studio and you didn't want this getting out, you just purchase the movie and then shelve it. That's what they do. Is it ever going to see the light of day? Probably not. Doug Liman makes the movie, pays the actors, gets his return by selling it, and then the studios just simply shelve it. Yeah, nice one. I wouldn't be surprised. The amount of shenanigans that have gone on behind the scenes and the corruption is just absolutely outrageous. But yeah. Check this out. So Vinny Lingham says, "Is this making sense yet?" He said, and this was regarding his post back in 2024 when he said, "Unpopular opinion, MicroStrategy will ultimately and eventually do more harm to Bitcoin and crypto than FXT did." Oof. He knows what's going on. He knows it's a massive Ponzi scheme. Absolutely huge. But talking about Ponzi schemes and the climate hoax now being revealed. Well, is it being revealed because they've lost their funding? Check this out. So Britain is broken, as said here. Breaking, the United Nations is on the brink of collapse. So that's why they can't afford to carry on their climate hoax. They are officially expected to run out of money in about 6 weeks after Donald Trump cut all US funding to the UN. Good globalism will fall. Oof. So yeah, it's the US government. It sounds like to me like it's literally the US government that has been funding all this BS for all these years. And now all the lies are going to come out because they can't fund them anymore. It all comes down to money. Whoever it is, well, it's not money, it's currency. Whoever controls the currency controls the world. And talking about controlling currency, make Europe great again, as said here. Rupert Lowe horrified as Labour waste $40 billion to refurb MP's office. Let's have a listen to this crap.
Rupert Lowe, please.
Well, Chairman, I have to confess I'm quite bemused about the whole thing, and I just want to ask a few questions. I know ostensibly I'm asking about cost, but I think cost is pretty irrelevant at this stage. What I'd like to understand is the objective of this exercise, is it to basically do necessary...
Rupert Lowe, please.
Yeah, so Rupert Lowe just absolutely horrified at the waste of $40 billion to refurb MPs' offices. Absolutely shocking. And literally some of the stories that I heard this weekend, literally, MPs being questioned and their replies just simply, well, if we weren't wasting their tax money on things like HS2, we'd just simply find something else to waste it on anyway. Literally, the entire government is corrupt. Literally. And talking about corruption, Kim.com has said here, breaking, Palantir was allegedly hacked. An AI agent was used to gain super use access, and here's what the hackers allegedly found. Peter Thiel and Alex Karp commit mass surveillance on world leaders and titans of industry on a massive scale. And what does that sound like? That sounds to me like the line that... Oh, crikey, what was his name? You know what? I might even just add that picture to the bottom here. Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, so Peter Thiel and Alex Karp commit mass surveillance on world leaders and titans of industry on a massive scale. They have thousands of hours of transcribed and searchable conversations of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance and Elon Musk. They have backdoored the devices, cars and jets of world leaders and accumulated the biggest archive of blackmail material. Palantir is creating nuclear and bioweapon capabilities for Ukraine and is working closely with the C.I.A. to defeat Russia. They believe they are 1 year away. They plan to achieve this by keeping Russia busy with meaningless peace negotiations. Palantir is responsible for the majority of Palestinian deaths in Gaza. They have developed the AI targeting for Israel. Palantir is an arm of the CIA, and data from international clients is copied into a CIA spy cloud. Palantir has become the most dangerous company in the world. If you work there, you have the right to know that this is what Palantir AI is used for without your knowledge. The Palantir data the hackers allegedly gathered will be given to Russia and or China. I was chosen as a trusted partner for this publication. I'm not involved in the Palantir hack, and I don't know the hackers, but I do know the hack happened. And this sounds very similar to Woodrow Wilson when he said some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Oof! And this sounds exactly what we've just heard there from that post from Kim.com. We're in serious trouble. And one of the ways out of this is to make sure that we have a democracy. So let's read some of this. Votary app, verified results. So voting results secured on the world's fastest, most efficient, secure blockchain. Quote here from Major General Smedley D. Butler. My main interest in all this is to preserve our democratic institutions. I want to retain the right to vote and the right to speak freely and the right to write. If we maintain these basic principles, our democracy is safe. No dictatorship can exist with suffrage, that's voting, freedom of speech and press. And he said that in 1934 after the failed coup d'etat attempt of the US government in 1933. The ability to vote is the cornerstone of any democracy, making its voting mechanism the touchstone. Consequently, the subversion of election results is the goal of any attempted dictatorship. This is why it's so important to have a secure voting mechanism in place. Votary app utilizes the virtues of the world's most secure, fastest and efficient blockchain, making it the world's first truly democratized voting application. What makes Votary app the world's first truly democratized voting app? It's the provable integrity of the data that makes Votary app the world's first truly democratized voting app. Data integrity can only be achieved on a network that doesn't have any central point of authority, control or failure. This means that the central starting point of the network must be commoditized and the network itself go through a period of neutral organic growth. The original protocol and genuine Bitcoin network had its white paper officially released on the 31st of October 2008, but its network was not started until the 3rd of January 2009. This categorized the starting point as being common and not securitized. Next, its network underwent a period of neutral organic growth from 3rd of January 2009 to the 1st of January 2020, providing an 11-year time frame for the dilution of any central starting point. After this time, the network could then be scaled to absorb all the world's internet traffic, and applications like Votary app could be built to provide data integrity for voting mechanisms. The blockchain that Votary app is built on uses a proof-of-work consensus mechanism, meaning that each node on the network is completely independent of the next, and therefore each node independently verifies the data it receives. Each and every bit of data received contains a digital signature that proves a transaction is valid. This signature can also be tracked and traced through a chain of digital signatures to prove the provenance of the data it received. This is absolutely essential and fundamental to proving the integrity of data. The network it runs on also has unbounded scale capacity, meaning near instant confirmation of any data. The network itself does not have any central point of authority, control or failure, and therefore the only way to access and unlock its potential is to pay for the service in micropayments via the coin that is extracted from its native network. How Votary app ensures the integrity of its data. Votary app utilizes the security of the network's native token to secure its voting results, and therefore ensuring the integrity of democratic elections. Due to the scale of the network Votary app is built on, it has the potential to secure democratic elections all around the world. Indeed, it's had its first demonstration to the Portuguese government earlier this year in 2026. There we go, that sounds pretty great. Loving a bit of a Votary app there. Right, let's get on to this then. So XRP loses 900 million as DTCC collateral FUD triggers panic sell-off. Well, hasn't lost too much. But let's see what it says here. Key takeaways. XRP holders realize $900 million in weekly losses after misreading DTCC collateral list as a blacklist. The DTCC lists are operational clearing tools, not exchange delisting directives. Traders are rotated into Stellar's XLM after misinterpreting a DTC Stellar partnership as a Ripple snub. So XRP holders realised $900 million in weekly losses, the worst single week figure since 2022, as a 1.93 billion lost event after misreading DTCC's collateral eligibility lists as an institutional blacklist. Quote here, the collateral eligibility lists are internal plumbing for clearing and margin operations, not policy pronouncements about which tokens exchange should list. An analyst familiar with DTCC's operations said, that's what he said, the panic started when screenshots of DTCC's collateral list circulated on social media without context, showing XRP absence from certain files. Influencer accounts amplified the narrative that XRP had been blacklisted, pushing the token below $1.30. The sell-off accelerated after news of DTCC's partnership with Stellar Developed Foundation. Traders read the two events as DTCC choosing Stellar over Ripple. XLM trading volumes spiked as retail rotated out of XRP. What a load of crap. What an absolute shit show this is. We'll do one last paragraph. The DTCC approach remains chain agnostic, with its 2024 Great Collateral Experiment testing interoperability across multiple blockchain networks. The Stellar partnership targets tokenized assets going live in H1 2027. One node in a broader multi-chain strategy, not a declarification against XRP. The episode underscores how quickly the decontextualized operational documents can become market-moving events in crypto, with 900 million in losses stemming from a misread. What an absolute shit show that is. But talking about a misread, let's just go back to what I have filled in here. So with these consensus mechanisms, I thought, you know what, I'll just add a little bit more here in my own words. So proof of work consensus mechanism is an economically competitive way of decentralizing a network through economic competition. Without competition, there is only collusion and centralization. Economic competition means each distributed component is completely independent from any others. Yeah, sounds solid. Proof of stake. So proof of stake is a way to distribute a centrally controlled system. Proof of stake does not require an ongoing economic opportunity cost in maintaining a stake, which makes it an ideal way for centrally controlled networks to defend themselves against points of attack. But yeah, it's a way to distribute centrally controlled systems. But that's it, centrally controlled. Pre-mine is a way for centrally controlled systems to maintain complete control, since total economic power is created by the controlling entity prior to the network's inception. So that's what it means, pre-mined. So they've got all the economic power before they even start the network. Absolutely ridiculous. So it's for a way for centrally controlled systems to maintain complete control. And ERC20 tokens. Ethereum Request for Comment 20 or RC20 tokens are NFT tokens created on top of pre-existing native coins. Their purpose was, for example, to enable casinos to create their own in-house digital tokens without the need to develop and maintain their own blockchain network. Casinos could create digital gaming tokens for their customers. These tokens can also be used for digital arcades and other digital enterprises such as digital card games, etc. They only secure entitlement to the issuer's described purpose. And that's literally all they are. So for anybody who's going through the list, they're just like, oh right, so centralized, 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 completely centralized, centralized, completely centralized, centralized. Oh, there's only a few proof of work. But it takes more than just proof of work. You know, it has to be a fixed supply, common starting point, neutral growth, chain of signatures, locked protocol, unbounded scale. And we know there's only one protocol that's got that, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed. All right then, let's get on with the figures then. So, grey coin at 73,620. Oof. This is MicroStrategy. So look at that, 73. Ooh. Look at all these purchases. They're all up there. Look. Talk about buying high and then having to sell low. Look at all these purchases. Look. Confidence rising. And then that's when it got to 120. They were like, yeah, we've made all the right decisions. You know, up we go, down we go, and then up we go again. Buying on the way up. Buying on the way up. Dear, oh dear. And then crashing all the way back down. And then they've started buying again. Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear. So, that's about the strategy buying price, but they'll have to start selling their coins in order to pay the dividends to their shareholders. B crash, $300. Oof, that's taking a beating. That's taking a real beating. Let's have a look at that. There's that down here. Oh, that's had a drop off. Ooh. What was the peak here? 477. 30 days. So like in 3 months. Yeah, look at that. Down to 300. That could drop to 200. Ooh, jeebus. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. 650 odd, and now it's down to like a. Oof. What was the low today? 24-hour low, 298. Yeah, it dipped below 300. Look at that. Wow. Whoa. Fisher Price Cash UK's Bitcoin is $14 or $13.99 top left there. Hash rate 0.02, network nodes 0.17, transactions though 70%, and block size are 66%. Let's have a look at the blocks coming through. 4, 16, 15, 6, 1, 17, 20, and relatively a 72 megabyte block there. It's all right. It's 21,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than GMAX coin. Oh, mining Bitcoin at just a 1.6% comparable loss. There's nothing in it at all, really. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts, because that's where it is. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. Greg coin hash rate, Foundry USA pool 26.3, Amp pool 22.2. B crash, other mining pools 37.5. Oof. Oh, Cryptex is on there. 9.7 of B crash. Mining Dutch has jumped on Fisher Price Cash, squeezing LS Software DMCC. Interesting. All right, we'll have to have a look at the mining on Bitcoin here. Mining stats. So we've got Kuv at 27.2, Tal 23.5, Gorilla Pool 13.2, SA100 11.7, QD Link 10.2, Molepool 5.1, Tal.com or Tal Terra Node 2.9, Mining Dutch 2.9, Bit of Sin 2.2, Cryptex is on there a little bit, just 0.17, nothing at all really. Let's have a look at the transactions there. So just 1.3 million over the last 24 hours, or 1.4. Dashboard here. 1.5 according to what's on chain. Overall chart then. Oof. Yeah, look at that. Gregcoin taking a beating there. Gone from 77,000 down to 73. That's crashed over the weekend. Yeah, Ethereum down. Binance token up. What a joke. Keep an eye on the graphs on the right hand side as we scroll down. And where's Bitcoin? They were number 79. Crazy. That's crazy. Oof, yeah, 12 months, $30, and it's now at 14. Oh my goodness. I remember when it got to $30, I was just like, whoa, this might never get this low again. And here we are, literally $13. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so not sweating like MicroStrategy is, but then again, it's the investors, their clients that take all the risk. You know, Michael Saylor hasn't really got too much to sweat about. It's just, you know, disgruntled customers to deal with. 365 days of Bitcoin history. So today, it's 31st of May. Oh, nothing there. But yesterday, 30th of May, look at this. So in 2022, it was reported on 30th of May 2020 that soldiers killed a 13-foot monster described from biblical times. And this was in the Mirror. Look at that. 30th of May 2022, soldiers killed 13-foot monster descended from biblical times, YouTuber claims. The Giant of Kandar, 13-foot tall monster with red hair and six-fingered hands that lived in the mountains of Afghanistan, was killed and covered up by the US government. Like, I remember this. A British Army soldier from the 3rd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, secures the helicopter landing strip. A 13-foot monster with red hair and hands with 6 fingers. Whose home was in the Afghan mountains, was allegedly killed up and covered up by the US government. That was the image of this thing. Poor Dan Ramiro. But he got rid of an entire US platoon before this one went out searching for them. It's crazy. And this was a description of it.
We need to give kudos to Stephen Quayle, because Stephen Quayle is the guy that broke the story, and Steve is an incredible researcher, second to none, and he broke the story years ago about a pilot who brought out a very, very large giant, at least 12 feet tall, 1,100 pounds, and the pilot was on George Norrie's show and gave a testimony, and George Norrie comes in, very exclusive one-on-one interview that we did for Watchers 10, and talks about this, and he allowed us to use the actual exchange between George and the pilot.
That was back in December of 2008.
Wow, fascinating times. There's a lot we don't know about this world. But anyway, we'll leave it there. That's a 27-minute show. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
I understand.
Do you?
Do you? This is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
The king still has one more move.